let's pick up where we left off last week. Go ahead and grab a marker and let's get to outlining our pencil lines. Now friends, I would highly recommend that you use a permanent marker if you are able to. You could use a non-washable marker as well. Miss G just suggests that you don't use washable marker for this part, and you'll see later on why in this video. If you need to, you can skip around your portrait and outline different areas. Sometimes I find if I'm trying to work all in one area, I might totally miss some pencil lines, right? So I could go to the top of my paper, back down to the middle, maybe over to the left side, up to the right-hand corner, and so on. Once you have finished covering your pencil marks with your black outlining tool, it is time to erase any leftover lines that you see. Do your best with erasing your pencil lines. If you accidentally did some lines that were just a little bit too dark, like you can see Miss G did on the top of your head, it's okay, because we're going to be filling it with paint anyways, but we just want to try and clean it up as much as possible. Okay, so let's talk about a little extra 2020 touch to our portraits. In our current world, we've been hiding our smile for a while with masks to protect ourselves and those around us. With all the options to customize your masks, why not also customize one for your self-portrait too? You can start by taking any scrap paper you have. Here's some leftover paper I found by my desk. I'm going to line it up so that it covers just the mouth? No. The mouth, nose, and eyes? No. That's right, just the nose and mouth. See how my black outlines are showing through my scrap paper? I'm going to trace around those lines I already made to create my mask shape. You can even decorate your mask however you would like, with a pattern, maybe even from your background, or with just one color. It's up to you. Nice! Put it off to one side for now and let's talk color. For this project, we're going to paint, just like Frida Kahlo. You can either choose watercolors if you have them, or I'm going to show you a super cool trick where you can combine aluminum foil and washable markers to create your very own watercolors. Woohoo! As you begin to paint, remember that a little bit of paint goes a long way. While you need just water and paint to create, let me share a trick. To make a color darker, add more paint. To make a color lighter, add more water. Check out how I do this in my tree. Let's also talk some basic watercolor etiquette. Remember to think of your brush as a pretty ballerina who is dancing on their tiptoes. They carefully twirl inside of our watercolor paints to pick up one color after they've been dipped in water. Then they glide across our paper as they're painting. I say this because there's nothing worse than seeing the booty scootin' ballet. That's when our brush gouges out the paint and then flattens across the paper. That result leaves a very dry look and it actually hurts the bristle of the brush. So remember, glide, twirl. Now, are you ready to see some magic? Let's make watercolors. First, grab some foil, then grab washable markers. Run your marker over the foil, like this, dip your brush into the water, and woo! Check it out, watercolors. hair, I want you to notice how you can blend your watercolors as you paint. Since I have two colors in my hair, I can lightly paint over spots that I already painted to begin mixing the colors. It's also important that if while you're painting and you start to notice you're having a hard time spreading the color, you need to add a little water. As you're working, if you start to notice areas you maybe think are too light, you can always go over and add more color. For instance, my black cat's a little too light, so it's time for a second coat. Would you look at this? I want to remind you all too that self-portraits can be very realistic to what we look like, but they can also be representations of how we want others to see us or how we imagine that we look. You can also play around with how you're portraying your background elements. Frida liked to use bright colors, so I might add in some brighter colors to my elements, even if it looks a little unnatural, like my palm trees. It's all about how the artist wants you to see it. So artist, how do you want the world to see your self-portrait? Check out this trick with my shirt. I can use more paint to make a dark red and then more water to create a light red. Talk about contrast. Now comes my final background touch. Again, let's think about how to keep our portraits bright. For instance, I think I'm going to choose pink here. Not just because it's my favorite color, but because to me, it represents the late summer sunsets in Florida when you can walk outside and the sky looks like a cotton candy swirl. It makes me so happy. Oh, and there's my black cat Lynx. She's coming to investigate and make sure that I did a good job on her portrait. What do you think, Lynx? Is it all right? Almost done. There! Oh, but wait, we forgot one thing. Our masks. Okay, so here's the only rule for your mask. There are no rules. You can color it in however you choose. Again, I'm going to carry out my Florida orange theme here, but you can choose to do yours however you would like. Alrighty, so now you might be at the same stage as me, where if you did coats that were a little bit darker, or if perhaps you used a washable marker and then your watercolor paint got on top of it and now your black outlines aren't as crisp. You can go ahead and do what I'm doing, which is just going over my same outlines once again with my black marker. Voila! Artistes! Our Frida Kahlo inspired self-portraits are done. We are officially artists of the Surrealism movement. Be sure to show yourself with a mask on and mask off version of your self-portrait when you submit your project. I am so proud of you, and I'll see you next time. Bye, artists!